Well, today is a very special day, and we're going to be talking about a very special occasion with a very special person, Jamala Rogers, today on The Bernie Hayes Show. Jamala Rogers, welcome.
Thank you, Bernie. Thank you for having me.
Oh, it's always a pleasure being here. 40 years the Organization for Black Struggle is celebrating. 40th anniversary. Tell us about that. Tell us how this came about, and tell us what we're going to do and when it is.
So, Bernie, you've known and you've been chronicling us across the years in all of your media platforms. So it's just been a year after year, but in 1980, a group of young people decided they didn't see an organization that reflected us, that was unapologetic about, first of all, being black, which and unapologetic about what we were going to be about. So hence the name Organization for Black Struggle. So so we've taken on some of the burning issues of our community, and January 25th we will be celebrating. And mostly in victory. I mean, we obviously, like any other organization, have had rough patches, but we still prevail. And I think we've done that with the support and love of our community.
I noticed that a lot of people, when they saw the announcement that you'll be celebrating 40 years on the 25th of January, a lot of people says, well, we're going to come out and support Jamala again, support the organization. And I noticed that most progressive organizations, you support each other.
Oh, yeah, we have to. I mean, what you'll see at the anniversary celebration and what you've seen in the past, you see our partners in lockstep that we work with. So, and we support each other. I mean, during the month of January, you'll have the Coalition for Black Trade Unions with their event and their struggles, and you have OBS in this event. So I think we realize that in terms of building the movement, key to that is supporting each other's struggles. And in fact, Jobs with Justice has a mantra which says, I'll be there at least 3 times for my partner. And so I think, that does help you to then reshape how you think about it, because I think in the African tradition of reciprocity, I'm going to be there for you when you need me, and you're going to be there when I need you. Right. And in St. Louis region, there's so much going on. We can't go at this alone. I'm
also on the board of Jobs for Justice, and it's not a mandate, more or less, but there's an appeal to all of their members to come out and support you on the 25th. So on the 25th, correct?
January 25th, Saturday. Here's the thing, Bernie, that we want people to really, really get in their heads.
Okay.
It's usually at 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's going to be at 6 o'clock.
So it's 2 hours later.
It's going to be 2 hours later, and that's because we really want to have a celebration, meaning a party.
Sure.
So we're going to party with the Infrared Rockers, but we'll have a very important program. The first part, but the dinner is at the first part. So if you come early or too late, you may miss dinner. But we think we have a pretty well planned, packed show. So
where's it going to be now? The location.
It's going to be at the Machinist Union Hall, and some of us know that from being at the Tennessee State alumni dance that raises money for
Martha Jane West.
Yeah, that raises money for scholarships for TSU.
Yeah.
And in fact, Martha Jane West is going to be one of the special honorees. Yeah. And so
she's thrilled about it too.
Yeah, we are so happy about that, because Martha Jane, she's been a supporter and a champion for organizations that are doing the right thing. But most people, unless you know Martha, she's one of those unsung heroes, because she's not out front. She's just doing what she does. The other honoree is former Alderman Terry Kennedy. And he's certainly Kujaliwa Hukuma. And so we want people to know even what all he's done. Now, he's been more in the forefront than Martha, but I don't think people still know the impact that he's had on this city. So we're going to come together 6 o'clock at the Machinist Hall. The address is 12365 St. Charles Rock Road, and we're just going to be in community with one another.
Mm-hmm. Now, can they get more information? Jamala, is that phone number they can call?
So they can go to the website. We have all the information. This year we'll have vendors, so people want to set up with special retail items, and even people who just have literature. I know sometimes this is the year 2020 of elections. People can get a table if they have a candidate, but we will have the vendors. We'll have speakers. We're going to do a historical overview of the accomplishments of OBS over the last 40 years. We will not have a keynote speaker. And so we wanted to keep it light. There'll be some messages of solidarity. Reverend Starsky Wilson will be one of those folks. And that's because he's one of the local funders of the Organization for Black Struggle. Right. And such a catalyst to the movement, not just in terms of underwriting people's special projects, but just being a support and a moral compass here in St. Louis. So I really have a lot of respect for Starsky. Okay,
that's 367-5959, area 314-367-5951. And the website is what?
The website is www.obs-stl.org. Or if you put in you can put Organization for Black Struggle, and I'm sure it'll take you to the website.
Okay, Facebook and Twitter and everything.
Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Yeah, young folks have been doing all of that. So
okay,
yes.
Okay. Jamala, so many things you're involved in, and so many organizations you've been not only a member of, but supportive of so many years. Now there's a struggle with Kim Gardner. Tell us about that. I know you were down there. Your organization was one of the leaders to support Kim.
So
excuse me.
You know, the office of the prosecutor is very important.
Yes.
It is the one office that deeply and almost irreversibly affects lives of Black folks in this city and around the country. And so it was very important before Kim even was elected that we develop a platform for reform. And we said, here's what has to happen for anybody that's running for this office. Mm-hmm. And I remember when we were fielding candidates and we did interviews with them, and then we had a big candidates forum. It was Kim Gardner who came closest to saying, this is a platform I can run on, and this is actually one that I've been running on, so it's natural to me. And so she was overwhelmingly elected by the citizens of St. Louis. But because she is a reform candidate, the racist powers to be have tried to stop her at every turn. And so one of the important pieces of the press conference recently was that this is a national phenomenon. This is a trend because, even 7 years ago, you had a field of almost 2,000 prosecutors across the country, and only a smattering of them were Black, let alone women.
Sure.
So it was powerful for 6 African-American women to stand on the steps of the Carnahan Court building.
Who are prosecutors?
In their respective cities, to stand with Kim because they know what she's going through. They're going through similar things. Some of them talked about that at the afternoon round table. So these are women, and in some cases men, who are trying to advance an office that needs a lot of work, Bernie. There's been corruption, there's been racism, and every turn they've been met with resistance and hostility, both inside their offices, outside the offices, particularly from police unions, and then even from the media who've been slamming them and also, doing character assassination. But these women, you could just tell, they are so strong and so powerful. They are going to do the people's work.
This is great. Jamala Rogers is my guest. Jamala is one of the co-founders of the Organization for Black Struggle. And where there is injustice, you see Jamala fighting for justice. Let me tell you, you might see this cup here on the board here. You see the Bernie Hayes Show Cup. You see the Harris Stowe State University Cup. You see the Webster University Cup. But Reverend Larry Rice, who is trying desperately to get back at 1411 Locust Street, has this Bernie Hayes Show Cup. And this will help And here's how you can help.
Will you help New Life Evangelistic Center get back into 1411 Locust Street? Your tax-deductible gifts are urgently needed at this particular time, and there's many different ways that we're working to get back in that facility. One of the ways is to continue to inform the community through the Bernie Hayes Show and other programs. And if you haven't supported the Bernie Hayes Show and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center, please do it now. It's urgently needed. Your gifts are deeply appreciated. So many homeless people are waiting to get back into 1411 Locust, and so many others need the direct help that New Life is trying to provide at this time, but is facing some real financial needs, and that's why your gift is very, very important. And to express our thankfulness for all of you that are sharing your gifts, we want to send you this special Bernie Hayes cup. It's my wife's favorite drinking cup. She loves to drink out of this cup, and this is actually the only coffee cup she wants to use is the Bernie Hayes cup. There's something very special about this cup, and we'll send it to each one of you that share a gift of $25 or more with the New Life Evangelistic Center and ask for your Bernie Hayes cup. It's P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. Your gift will not only help us get back into the 1411 Locust building, but will help our first responders that are on the streets, the first responders that we have out there day after day, night after night. It will help keep our women and children in our safe houses, continue to keep our training programs open, our worldwide mission work, whether it's in India, Haiti, Africa, so many different things the New Life Evangelistic Center is doing. In addition to NLEC TV, tell your family and friends about it. Put it on your phone. Put on your get that phone app on all your friends' phones so that they can all see the Bernie Hayes Show or go to 24.2. It's your prayers and gifts that make all of this possible. I thank God for those of you who continue to pray for the reopening of 1411 Locust and the work of New Life Evangelistic Center. There's so many obstacles we're facing as we try to help the homeless, but we're going to continue to give it to God. We're going to continue to pray. We're going to continue to work, but we need you to partner with us. So again, it's New Life Evangelistic Center, P.O. Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, that's 63166. I thank God for each one of you that are praying, caring, and sharing.
Welcome back. Jamala Rogers is my guest. Jamala, the Organization for Black Struggle is celebrating 40 years, the 40th anniversary. When is it?
The event is Saturday, January 25th at 6 p.m., not a traditional 4 p.m. We've been doing that for 39 years.
Yeah.
So people who've come regularly, we want them to get into their heads. 6 p.m. this time, and it'll be at the Machinist Hall out on St. Charles Rock Road. And all information about tickets, vendor tables can be found at our website at www.obs-stl.org. And we're just totally excited. I mean, for one thing, you're going to return as the MC, Bernie, which is always delightful, but also joining you will be Benita Canute. And so we're excited to have her because even though she was with Fox News and people have a certain view about Fox News, she was the face of the Black community and make sure our issues got covered and covered correctly. I remember when we were fighting for Ellen Reasonover, she was one of the few media persons that gave us space, but also gave us fair space to really try to see what the issues were. And ultimately, we know that Ellen was released. She was exonerated. And one of the first persons to get that scoop interview was you-know-who. So, Benita Canute. So I think, all around, we really want to create a celebratory space and make sure that all of our people who've supported us, who've been on the battlefront with us, are going to be able to come out and celebrate with us.
Jamala, in the 40 years that you've been in existence, you and Kalimu, tell us some of the highlights of the Organization for Black Struggle, some of the wins, because there have been so many. Ellen Reasonover, Marilyn Banks. Give us a little chronology.
Been constructing that. As I said, there's going to be a historical overview in each one of those areas: criminal justice, workers' rights,
McDonald's.
Yeah, I mean, we. I would say, and maybe I'm showing my age here to deal with more recent accomplishments, but I think the bringing back local control of the St. Louis Police Department was a huge one, because I remember when we started off, people said, that'll never happen. And I remember one of the white alder people down at the City Hall was quoted in the newspaper as saying that ragtag group of folks is not going to is not going to be able to change this. And so And so once again, you know, when the people speak, but they have to be educated and they have to be engaged and mobilized that this is your police department, you're paying taxes for it, yet you have very little control over it because it's under the auspices of the governor. So I think, you know, that was a slam dunk once people understood. In fact, Bernie, many people didn't even know that it wasn't local control.
And
so
they thought it's
so you first have to do the education piece, the why, the what. And obviously, that was a two-part struggle because once we got local control, we said we need an independent civilian oversight board. And we're able to get that. And again, that was with the help of Alderman Terry Kennedy. We're also proud about the two African-American prosecutors in the region, Wesley Bell in St. Louis County, Kim Gardner in St. Louis City. And I think we may not see for a minute or two the impact that it's going to have. But I told people when I see a headline from in the newspapers that says, "I will not prosecute poverty," and that was a quote by Wesley Bell.
Sure.
You know it's going to be a new day because it's not going to be the same as usual, and that is these municipalities are getting built on the backs of black folks. And so, those kinds of trends are happening. People are saying, you know, they're sick and tired of being sick and tired. They don't always know what to do or how to do it. And so I think it's up to organizations like ours to provide the leadership, the information, and the tools because people will fight if they know why and if they know it's in their own interest of their families and of their community. So, and I also think about the election of Freeman Bosley Jr. I mean, it was short-lived, but I think people felt almost like Obama, they felt something new was in the air, something new, different was going to happen. And we need to sum that up. It didn't work out as we had planned. And again, when you think about the forces to be, sometimes those contradictions were internal. But this is a city that's Southern in its nature. It's Southern in the way that it operates. And so the relationships between black and white.
That polarization stayed there.
It's a polarization, but when black people say they're tired of being on the plantation, then, you know, there's a certain wall of resistance that they're going to have to deal with. And we see that wall with Kim. We saw that wall with Freeman Bosley as he, in his first few days, weeks, months, tried to exert his powers that other folks in that office already had, but somehow or another it's different when a black person holds that office. It's almost like, wait a minute, who told you to do that? That I didn't tell you to do that. And so it's this, like I said, it's a plantation. That's about the most visual metaphor I can give. And, you know, you can't continue to oppress people and think that at some point they're not going to rebel. So I think we want to give power, attain power for our communities in a way that's constructive, in a way that builds, in a way that's positive. And I think when you look at the city overall and you have a mayor that's saying everything's hunky-dory, and I'm looking at North Side,
no
tracts and tracts of land is vacant, you know,
no
falling,
hospital bed,
no nothing. It's like a barren, a barren place. I call it a Bantu stand. And for the folks who don't understand that, that's what they had in South Africa, outside of the cities, and said, "This is where you all live, and this is where we live." And so I think, you know, those contradictions are getting sharper. That's why people came down so hard on that Better Together. I mean, that was swift. Like, no, you know, we were not a part of this. Maybe it's a good idea. Maybe we could do it. But the way that you all are doing it is like some heavy-handed massa that says, here's how we're going to do it. And I'm going to be king of the hill, and all the rest of you all are going to serve me. That's not going to happen.
You're steady fighting Reggie Clemens, Marilyn Banks, Ellen Reasonover. So many fights that Jamala Rogers has led. And I know you get tired.
Oh, I get tired all the time. You know, I think, but the thing that continues to inspire me is the will and spirit of the people in the community. And so I think that even when I think about Ellen Reasonover and her family, like they were always pushing. And if they can do it, given the circumstances, surely I can rise to the occasion. And I think that it's been those hardcore spirits of folks who are just determined to change their fate. It's just inspirational for me, and it makes me get up in the morning. So, but there's always these other issues and people who are there waiting, and sometimes they look like me and you, Bernie. Yeah. So that's the thing that also we have to educate people around. Everybody that's looks like us is not. What's the?
Can you still looking for membership?
Oh, it's always open, and we want people to who are serious about being present, serious about showing up to join us, and give us a call at 367-5959. That's area code 314. But we have committees that people can immediately join. Sisters Talking Back is our women's unit. We're doing some fantastic work. We have our workers committee. We have the state repression committee, where all the work around courts, prisons are happening. So there's a place for people. And even if you're too busy to actually join a committee, you just show up where you can.
And donate.
Yes, that's always important.
Jamala Rogers is my guest. Some of you know that there's hope for 1411 Locust Street, downtown St. Louis. Reverend Larry Rice is trying to reopen the facility, and there's some hope, some glimmer of hope from the city of St. Louis saying they need to reopen the New Life Evangelistic Center. We need your help and support. Every dime is tax deductible that you donate to New Life or contribute or invest in New Life Evangelistic Center. But we need that help and support more than ever right now, because the services that were provided downtown are provided here. There's still hope. There's still help for the homeless. There's still shelter. There's still food being paid. There's still bills being paid. But we need your help and support, and you can help the New Life Evangelistic Center. Like I said, with a tax-free donation, tax-deductible donation, through Post Office Box 473, St. Louis, Missouri, 63166. Or online at this is one word, newlifeevangelisticcenter.org. American Express, Visa card, Discover card, all the Visa, MasterCard. It takes less than 2 minutes. But we need your help and support, and now is the time. For those of you who have been helping us for the years, we certainly appreciate what you're doing, but we need help and support now. We'll be back with Jamala Rogers after this.
All day long, homeless people are wandering the streets because New Life Evangelistic Center 1411 Locust isn't open. We want to reopen that building. The building commissioner told us we could after we did 8 architectural designs, turned them all in if we made basic repairs. We started making all those repairs, and then the developers, they sued us and sued the city and made it stop. And then it went before the Board of Building Appeals. The Board of Building Appeals, they wanted to put, even though we're going to first use just the basement, first, second floor, they wanted to smoke all kinds of different things through the whole building, sprinkler systems, fireproof walls, all unbelievable things that weren't necessary. Now, you can help us go back to what the building commissioner said in November 2018 if you'll get this legal document signed. It's an initiative petition, and we need to get some 25,000 signatures. We can do it if you'll be one of the great and mighty men and women that God's raising up to be a part of this historical movement. Call us at 421-3020. Get your family, your friends, everyone you know that's a registered voter in the city of St. Louis to sign it. We'll give you further information. Call us now.
We'll return to our guests after this Black History Moment. Today's subject, Thurgood Marshall. Born in Maryland in 1908. In 1930, he applied to the University of Maryland Law School, but was denied admission because he was black. Thurgood sought admission, was accepted at the Howard University Law School that same year, and came under the influence of the dynamic new dean, Charles Hamilton Houston. Paramount in Houston's outlook was a need to overturn the 1898 Supreme Court ruling, Plessy versus Ferguson, which established the legal doctrine called separate but equal. Thurgood Marshall later became the chief counsel for the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. After amassing an impressive record of Supreme Court challenges to state-sponsored discrimination, including the landmark Brown versus Board of Education decision in 1954, President John F. Kennedy appointed Thurgood Marshall to the U.S. Court of Appeals for the 2nd District. On June 13, 1967, President Lyndon B. Johnson nominated Thurgood Marshall to fill the seat of retiring U.S. Supreme Court Justice Tom Clark. Marshall served on the court until his death, January 24, 1993.
Hear this, you who trample the needy and do away with the poor of the land. Let justice roll on like a river, righteousness like a never-failing stream. You trample on the poor and force him to give you grain. Therefore, though you have built stone mansions, you will not live in them. Though you have planted lush vineyards, you will not drink their wine. For I know how many are your offenses and how great your sins. You oppress the righteous and take bribes, and you deprive the poor of justice in the courts.
And welcome back. We only have a few moments left, but I want Jamala Rogers to tell us about what's happening for the 40th anniversary, when and where it's going to be, and why.
So we want people to join us on Saturday, January 25th at 6 p.m. For a dinner and party. Bernie is going to be one of the MCs, and joining him will be Benita Canute. We'll have special honorees. And Bernie, you've been there. We rarely give honorees. That's not a part of our regular format.
Precisely.
But this year we really looked at who on our 40th, which was special. Who did we see that was very special? It was hard. It was hard because people have done
thousands.
Yeah, I mean, and so the membership chose Kennedy and Martha Jane West, and so we really want to be there to honor what they've done, both hidden and unhidden. Mm-hmm. But yeah. 40 years still standing, harnessing Black power, the struggle continues. That's the theme. And people can join us at the Machinist Union Hall out there on St. Charles Rock Road, 12365 St. Charles Rock Road. You can get more information about tickets, vendor tables at www.obs-stl.org, or you can call us at 314-367-5959, but we want people to join us. If you can't be there, you can't be there, we're encouraging people to make donations so that other people can come.
Sure.
It is our major fundraiser, so we're looking for those donations too.
And if they call 367-5959 and no one answers, they can leave a message, right?
Oh,
and you'll get back to you.
Absolutely. If they call during the day, normal work hours, somebody will answer.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
367-5959.
Yeah, and the other thing, Bernie, I just want to point out is that it's also the birthday of the Youth Council for Positive Development.
Okay.
That's the youth component. So that's our youth group that started out simply as the OBS Youth Group and then evolved into its own separate entity. But it's their birthday too, and sometimes it's OBS birthday. What about us? So it's the OBS birthday, but it's also the Youth Council for Positive Development.
Does it feel like 40 years?
Yeah. It does, but when you look, I think when we looked forward, and there was a quote that Kalimu had in our press releases, like when you start, you don't even think about the longevity of a group. You do it because you think it needs to be done, and then you just do the work. And then you look up, and year after year after year, you're still there, and the need is still there.
Yeah, let's say
so you just keep going. And so I told somebody, as long as we aren't free, then there should be an OBS, and it may not be this OBS, but it's going to be an OBS organization because we have to learn how to fight, and we have to learn how to engage the community in a city of which they need to be a part of in terms of the decision making. Their taxes are going there, and so we want to make our people as strong as they can be and participate to the fullest.
40th anniversary of the Organization for Black Struggle. Jamala Rogers is the rock of that organization. Kalimu and Daisha and others, so many others, and so many different components. They need your help and support too. That's going to be this Saturday the 25th at the Machinist Hall in St. Charles Rock Road, and 367-5959, area 314-367-5959 is the number to call. And our number to call is 314-436-2424 for your help and support for the New Life Evangelistic Center. We invite you to stop by 2428 Woodson Road in Overland, Missouri, and they're here to help you. We know that you're here to help us. I'm Bernie Hayes. Have a great day.